Nigerian adults are bullies. Some weeks back, a young Nigerian woman got into an argument with another woman in a public transport. This elderly woman then, in the course of the argument, slapped her 2 times. Some weeks after this occurrence, a reality TV star, Ilebaye, was assaulted by her father. Now, this is not a once in a blue moon occurrence. Every day, a young Nigerian or child is assaulted by an adult in this country. But it is not just the assault that is absurd. It is the fact that a lot of Nigerians make excuses for this ordinarily inexcusable behavior. Not only do a good number of Nigerians support the actions of this elderly woman and Ilebaye's father, they even justify and defend it. Some others say, oh, it's not something that we should be involved in, especially because in the second case, it is a case of a father hitting his adult daughter. Even a reality TV star Fina came out to say that Nigerians should perhaps stay away from what is going on because it is a family matter.
The night, people were already tweeting, oh, bias this, oh, the father this, oh, the father that. Please, let's be very, very mindful. Let's be very, it's a family thing. Everybody gets their own for body. It's a family thing. I was saying, oh, let's trend bias father's picture. Why? Why? Is it because she came life and the thing was life? Yeah, we've seen what happened. Let's allow them sort it. You have no right to be insulting her father.
But this is not a family issue. This is violence born out of ageism and a deep-seated culture of child abuse that permeates the Nigerian society. One thing is clear: Nigerian adults are bullies. From parents to teachers to lecturers to employers and even random strangers. In the case of the first lady who was assaulted by the woman she met in a public bus, this woman was not in any way affiliated or related to her. She had no direct relationship with this woman, but this woman still felt that it was okay to physically assault this young lady that she does not know. Now, we all know that in public transportation, altercations happen. People argue. It is normal. It is something that happens in public transportation. If the woman had been in that bus, the elderly woman had been in that bus with another elderly man, would she hit him because they got into a disagreement? Of course not. The woman only did that because, one, she's elderly and she believes that because she's an older person or that she's older than the person she's having an altercation with, she has the right to hit that person. She also believed and was confident of the fact that her actions would go without any consequence. She did not in a million years envisage that this young woman whom she put her hands on would ever retaliate. Because if you fear a reprisal or you fear a backlash, there are certain things that you will simply not do. A lot of Nigerian adults lack emotional intelligence. They take out their low self-esteem, insecurities, anger, frustration, and really a lack of emotional regulation on children and young people. Child abuse is so prevalent in Nigerian culture that Nigerians would say, don't talk to me like I'm a child, when what they really mean is that do not speak to me disrespectfully. They say these things as if it is okay to disrespect a child. Children are humans, but Nigerians do not seem to agree with this fact. They say that children are blessings from God, but when those children come to the earth, they abuse, disrespect, and bully those children. In Nigeria, children and young people standing up to disrespectful and abusive adults are labeled badly trained. Badly trained because in Nigeria, to be raised well is to be someone who is silent in the face of injustice and never stands up for themselves. Let's make an example out of the first situation that I mentioned in this video. This elderly woman got into an argument with a younger woman on the bus. Now, this is not an uncommon occurrence in Nigeria or maybe even anywhere in the world. If you're getting into public transport, expect that at some point somebody on that bus, on that whatever public transportation you're using, will piss you off. Some Nigerians even say that the reason they bought cars or the reason they prefer to use private transportation like Bolt and other car ride services is because they do not want to get into it with strangers, or that they got tired of having arguments with random people. So having an argument with someone on a bus is a regular occurrence in Nigeria. But what did this woman do? This elderly woman, rather than have the argument and face front like Nigerians would say, this woman put her hand on this younger woman. She did not slap her once, she slapped her twice. After she slapped her the first time, the girl got very angry. She started to exchange words with this woman, and in the video she said it numerous times that the only reason she's being nice to this woman is because she's an elderly woman. Mind you, that was after she had slapped her once. After she said this woman went on to slap the younger woman again. It was at this point that the younger woman could not take it anymore. She, according to her, hit the woman back. That wasn't videoed. And she came on TikTok to talk about her experience with this crazy old lady who put her hands on her twice and how she retaliated. After posting that video, it made rounds, and as expected, a lot of older people in Nigeria started to criticize this young lady, even talking about how if they were to be in that woman's shoes, or that woman were to be their moms or whatever, they would get the woman arrested. I ask you, how is it okay to get on a public bus and put your hands on someone you do not know? Why is that the solution to anything? And if you think it is okay to put your hands on someone, why do you think it is absurd for your actions to be reciprocated? The only reason some Nigerians think that what the younger woman did was wrong is because the other woman is an elderly woman. Why do we have this culture of excusing the bad behavior of people just because they are older? Some people even believe that older people are incapable of being badly behaved. That is why in Nigeria you would hear things like an older person would say, "Oh, are you saying I'm lying?" when they are actually lying. Why do you think that we should believe that you are above lying because you are older? People lie all the time. Young, old, whatever. A lot of Nigerians came out to criticize this lady and her reaction to being assaulted. Again, I say that had it been that it was another lady of this young lady's age who had hit her, would it be absurd or would it be considered wrong for her to retaliate? No. Nigerians have a culture of ageism, and because of this ageism, they believe that people should be treated badly because they are younger, or that it is okay for an older person to treat a younger person badly without any fear of a retaliation because they are older. Now, here is what a Nigerian actress who is also a grandmother has to say about this occurrence?
We have to salvage the little sanity tó kù ní society. We need to salvage it because ó ti tán.
To this grandmother, who is also a Nigerian actress, maintaining sanity in society is maintaining a culture where it is okay for older people to assault young adults and get away with it. Now, what do you call sanity? Is sanity a society where older people can go about hitting younger people? Is that sanity? In all these countries that a lot of Nigerians fight so hard and work so hard to get visas to, do they live their lives like that? Nigerian adults and elderly people like to lie to themselves that because we have such a deep culture of respect, which is just adoration, we have a sane society. But that is very far from the truth. In a society with decorum and decent culture, it will never be okay to hit young adults. A sane society protects its children and young ones. Now, I have a question for this actress. If she were to travel abroad to a country like the United Kingdom, to the United States of America, would she approach a younger woman and hit her because she's younger? Mind you, these are people who travel abroad and would not dare put their hands on other people's children, especially when those children are Caucasian. That's to show you that these people know what they are doing. They keep their hands to themselves because they recognize that they are living in a culture that considers and treats children and young people as human beings. Now, in those societies and our society, what society would you consider the saner society? A lot of Nigerian adults are badly behaved. They are emboldened by this unreasonable culture of respect that says that it is not right or it is rude or improper to question the behavior of adults. They think it is their God-given right to maltreat and abuse children and young people without the fear of any consequence for their bad behavior. They want to be able to insult random young people and not expect to be insulted in return because they are old. They insult younger people, talk down on them, and in these two cases, they physically assault them. And these people still expect that just those young people who are physically assaulted and insulted should do nothing. How is that sanity? How is that a culture that should be promoted? The overglorification and adoration of adults to the point of even deifying them remains a reason why a lot of Nigerians are full-blown cowards. They are full-blown adults who are unable to stand up to older relatives, religious and political leaders, employers, and even random older people with whom they have no direct relationship. We have created a culture of adult worship and intense people pleasing. I said it earlier that a child that is raised well in Nigeria culture is really just a quiet child, a child that never questions, a child that does whatever an adult says they should do, even when it is detrimental to their own safety. That is why we have situations where children get kidnapped by adults because these adults will call them and say, hey, come and do something for me. And these children are unable to say no because they have been taught by their own parents that it is wrong to stand up to adults or to refuse the request of an adult. Let us not even get into how this culture also seeps into child abuse and molestation. A lot of children were molested as kids because they were afraid to stand up to the adults that abused them. The saddest part of all this is that society is now filled with people who are not just unable to stand up for themselves, but are also unable to stand up for their children. So you have people who watch their children being victims of the same abuse that they were victims of, but are unable to stand up for those people because they want to seem good, well trained to society. Now I ask you again, is a society where the rights of young people and children are not protected a sane society? Is a society where a woman can randomly just hit a younger woman in public transportation a decent society, or a society with decorum? If you are one of those people who hold the idea that older people can never be wrong and that whatever they do is right, I want you today to sit with yourself and ask yourself, how far has this belief, this over glorification of older people, how far has it gotten us in the Nigerian society of today? Anyway, that's it, guys. I know I've been so absent from YouTube. I'm so sorry. I have so many updates to give you guys about my life and what is going on at this particular moment. I really look forward to sharing. Until then, bye.